Once again, me and Antonio finally came up with the name for this show. We are officially
Yeah.
the Calrissian Kids. You know what I'm saying? A Star Wars pod. Do you want to know why? Because Lando raised us.
Lando raised us. That's why.
But yeah,
we
yo,
gotta
so
get it.
man.
We gotta get us some capes now, man.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy, yo.
Do
You
this
know what
nigga
I'm
some.
saying? Yeah. Hey, how you doing, darling? You know.
No processes over here, though. No process. We ain't
Oh
rocking with the
no.
process.
I can slick back a little bit. I still got a little bit of hair left, but no, I can't conk it like the boys used to do. But yeah, Tales of the Jedi. Animated, basically two Jedi.
Arcs.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
two Jedi arcs.
Ironically, who didn't want to be Jedi's anymore at the end of the stories.
That is a
You know what I'm
very. I
saying?
never really realized that, but yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
That's the first thing
Yeah,
I noticed. This is Tales of the Jedi. I
yeah,
said, this is Dooku and Ahsoka. They ain't Jedi's no
yeah,
more. So we
yeah.
got Dooku and Ahsoka. And this my first impressions of this. It was really good. You know what I'm saying? Like I was
Yeah.
actually surprised because the first episode we have like the origin of Ahsoka back in her
Mm-hmm.
home world, her people, they're like, little cultural stuff going on. And then you
Mm-hmm.
get Dooku.
Yeah.
Dooku out here was
You know what
was
though?
Wallace's day one.
But you know what though? We're not discounting the first episode with Ahsoka. It's just basically was like, hey, baby Ahsoka. Oh, they realized she got powers. But let's. How about this? Do you want to just talk about each arc for like just the Dooku part and the Ahsoka part, or how you want to do this now?
Yeah, let's go over Ahsoka first.
Okay, let's go over
Um,
Ahsoka first.
so
Okay.
Ahsoka, of course, the first episode is essentially, like I said, her village,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have like this matriarch,
Mm-hmm.
and she has and her mom go out to hunt, and the hunt is
Mm-hmm.
cool and all. And then basically she gets they get attacked by what I would call a Star Wars saber-tooth tiger.
Saber-tooth tiger. Yeah, yeah.
And grabs Ahsoka almost like a cub and takes her back to the den.
Yeah. He was about to have that
Ahsoka,
meal.
yeah, Ahsoka, as we see, of course, strong with the Force, isn't scared of the saber-tooth tiger,
Nope.
uses the Force, pull her hands out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, at the end of the
Eh,
episode, she's riding the thing back to her
yeah.
village.
So let me tell you something real quick about that. That force power that she used on the saber-tooth tiger thing is actually a force power called beast control. And it helps you mind it. Guess who else has beast control powers?
Grogu.
Not just Grogu. Her master, Anakin Skywalker. If you remember in
He
Attack of the Clones,
does. He
when they was in the Genoshan
does.
pit,
He
he
was.
reached out and he calmed down that
He
like rhino
does.
looking janky head so he could hop on it and
Yeah.
get it. So I saw that parallel and was like, that's pretty dope. But like you said,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like the whole village thought that she was dead. They was gonna try to find her. Then all of a sudden, she riding that like a boss. I'm talking about like probably what a month old, if that, on the back of this daggone saber-tooth tiger. No problem. Saber-tooth tiger walks up to the mother, kneels down so she can take her, and then pieces out. Like, yeah. And like everyone is looking like they can't believe it. But like you said, the matriarch of the village is the only one that was like, Jedi. Just straight up was like,
Ahsoka Jedi.
Ahsoka Jedi. Yeah, she said Ahsoka Jedi. She knew right off the bat, like, yo, like that's
Yeah,
the
this
only
baby.
way this baby could have done it. And for history purposes, Jedi's are taken when they're children from
Yeah.
from their village.
Yeah. They get
They
snatched
get
up early, like 2, 3
early,
years
early,
old. Yeah.
right. And the
Yeah.
Jedi that actually found Ahsoka was actually Plo Koon. And if you ever saw
Yeah.
Clone Wars,
Yeah.
Plo Koon, even though Anakin was her master, and that's the one she had the deepest relationship with, Plo Koon was the next Jedi that she had the deepest relationship with because he was the one that found her and brought her to the Jedi Temple and the Jedi Academy.
By the way, like they embarrassed Plo Koon when he died too.
Man, just shot him. Shot him in the back while he's flying. He's sitting there like, yeah, we about to kill these separatists, where y'all going? Boom, you're dead, sir.
Anyway,
he's one of the most powerful Jedi too. But that's jacked up.
Got shot in the back. Couldn't force that one out. Anyway,
so then the next episode with Ahsoka, that's what episode 5. Episode 5, because it's 6 episodes. You see her as a Padawan training in front of like the other Jedi, like some of the council members, and of course Anakin running late. Whatever, he's running late. He comes and sees, and she's taking on like those little droid balls, those training balls that you might have saw like in that Luke went against in New Hope and everything like that. And she is basically killing it,
murdering
it. And then they bring up some brand new ones. They say these are new ones that kind of, simulate battle droids. And she still murdered them. And you see the other Jedi like, oh man, she's pretty good. But you see Anakin and he's just like shaking his head. And I'm like, yo, why is he disappointed or whatever? He's just shaking his head and like, this and that. And everyone else is like kind of looking at her, clapping, like, yeah, pretty good. So they leave. And then all of a sudden, Anakin just like, yeah, okay. He gets up and walks out on her. And she's like, yo, like,
what's the problem, yo?
Yeah, what's the beef here? Like, I just did this. And he had a good point. He was like, man, droids are predictable. He was like, the droids are predictable. He says, of course you can. He says, we need to find out what you can do when droids aren't involved. And I kind of dug it. And then we saw for the next 5 or 6 minutes of this episode, what Rashad called being hazed up.
Ahsoka and I mean,
up so hard.
Ahsoka was online, boy. It was like her first day, man. It's like, hey, we're gonna see if you're gonna break or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Anakin,
so they put her in a circle.
They put her in a circle
with they put her in a circle with all these clones and Rex and them. They all a part of it, and they're just shooting randomly at her. And he's like, "Yo, your senses should be able to know who's going to shoot next." But here's the thing, Rashad. Did you notice this wasn't just a one-day thing? This happened over years, because you saw them go from Phase 1 clone troopers uniforms to Phase 2 clone. Like, this happened over the Clone Wars took over 3 years. This probably happened over the entire 3-year span that she just kept getting hazed up like this.
When they had downtime, shot up every single day.
Right.
Imagine. Right. You know what? It's like she's like the Michael Phelps of Jedi. Because Michael Phelps at the end of he hated going to that water 5 o'clock in the morning in Baltimore in the cold to go swim every morning. But he was, of course, like a 23-time gold medal Olympian, right? And Ahsoka,
he's Aquaman. He's the real life Aquaman. That's
for sure. Minus the gills. You know what I'm saying? But like Ahsoka was really out here training for war every day against, was that the 151st basically?
Yes, that was Vader. After the Empire took over, those were Vader's fists. They were the best of the best that Anakin had. And I mean, it was so the first time they got her, she was out for an hour. And then they got her again. He was like, well, at least she got up early. That was quicker this time. And like, then she lasted. He was like, oh, you lasted 5 minutes this time. They were giving her the business. But you saw she kept getting better and better and better, but she was still catching it. And then finally, the episode ends so beautifully, and it makes so much sense. It was the final episode of Clone Wars season 7. It fades into that part after, Ahsoka has, taken the chip out of Rex's head, and he's going to lead her out. And he's like, remember he said, I hope all this training was work for something. And what happens, you see them walk out there, and there was a scene in this episode when they acted like Ahsoka was the prisoner and he was still under control, and he was taking her out to the rest of the troops. I was like, that's beautiful.
You know how I was so confused. I said, I know this is what I think it is, y'all.
Yeah.
That doggone. That doggone Dave Filoni, yo.
Dave Filoni, you know what I'm saying? Dave Filoni, all hail Dave Filoni. Oh, but it was beautiful, and it makes sense how she was able. if you go back to that episode, she was able to withstand all those, blasts,
Yeah.
and last as long as she did from those clone troopers, man. So it was that episode was like beautiful. Probably my favorite episode of the whole.
This is like retroactive continuity at its best. And I know like in case you didn't know what that was, that's retcon. And retcon gets a very bad rap because sometimes they use it flimsily, even in Star Wars too.
Right.
But like, I mean, if it wasn't for retroactive continuity, there would be no Star Wars. So when people are like, oh man, they just retcon and stuff. Fam, so that is Star Wars right now. Unless we're gonna move forward, it has to be retroactive continuity. You know what I'm saying? Because there's already an established time period. But whatever. But yeah, good episode.
So
what's the next episode?
So then the final episode with Ahsoka, because it was 6 episodes, 3 apiece. So the final episode of Ahsoka's arc, that was the actual final of the series, was this is after Order 66.
Yeah.
But what you see, I thought it was dope that she actually was at the funeral. It starts off with the funeral of Padme. That's at the end of Revenge of the Sith, where you see Padme and they recreated it beautiful. Where she's like, she's dead and she's in the little carriage. They're taking her away, and what happens is Bail Organa spots her, even though she got the hood on. He follows her through and he talks to her and was like, hey, if you ever need anything, here's something that you can communicate. It's going to go directly to me. And she's basically giving up, like, I'm done with all this. I'm not no warrior anymore. I just want to go away. I can't believe this happened. And mind you, at this time, she still believes Anakin is dead. Nobody knows that Anakin is Vader at this point or whatnot. And so basically she leaves there and she goes into seclusion, and she becomes, everybody, when they go into seclusion, they become like a farmer or something. I just really, like,
they did a hard labor, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So she goes and
honest day's work.
Right. She goes, becomes a farmer, and they're baling hay and all this stuff like that, and they're dealing with the other common farmer people. And of course, there's always one person. This is like the Empire. People are starting to realize, the Empire sucks. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, everyone's
pretty much.
The Empire really sucks. And of course, there's always that one person. The Empire is keeping us safe. Hey, you guys don't know no better. Blah blah blah. Kind of like the same thing that was with Andor.
Yeah, I'm about to say the same thing. It's probably around the same time too.
Yeah. And so there's a sister and a brother. The brother, he's all pro Empire and this and that. And what happened is they piled up a bale of hay on this loader. And she's like, yo, you're doing it too high. And he's like, whatever. And it gets so high, it starts to get ready to fall on the girl. And Ahsoka, still having that Jedi in her, she force pushes.
It's like a disease.
It's like a disease. It's like a disease. They can't help themselves. For those people that haven't seen Obi-Wan or whatever. Yeah. So she force pushes her out the way, and the girl sees it. The brother doesn't, but he's like looking like
something going on here.
Yeah, something going on here. She was like, yo, my sister should be dead. Instead of this bastard being grateful, like, oh, you saved my sister. This dude is like spying on them, and the sister goes up to Ahsoka, was like, oh, may the force be. And she's like, yo, chill. She's not. He said, she was like, thank you, Jedi. He's like, yo, she's like, chill. Hey, don't be saying, no, don't be saying, listen.
No. She's call her Jedi Master.
Jedi Master, yeah. Jedi Master. She was like, yo, chill. Like, first of all, she probably was like, chill. Like, I ain't no Jedi, number one. And number two, I never, even if I was, I didn't make it to the rank of Master, boo. Like, yo, chill or whatever. And so they're like, all right, cool. So the brother overhears this, and what does Mr. Overzealous do? Oh, he contacts the Empire. We have a Jedi here. You guys gonna give us a reward. He's all excited. Just like Bix's boyfriend in Andor. This is a lot of daggone stuff here.
A lot of parallels.
So yes. Parallels here. So the dude, so next thing you know, the sister and Ahsoka, they're leaving to go sell their product. The brother being a jerk. All right, guys, be safe. May the force be with you. And Ahsoka was like, oh, this mofo, no. They come right back. Here, no. This right here. Y'all know what we saying. This, right? So he come back, and this mofo, and like basically the Empire's come, they send an Inquisitor. I believe that was the sixth brother. and he basically lays waste to their little village and farm. It's burning all over the place, and he's like, I told you it was a Jedi here. He was like, no, you said it was a Jedi. Where the Jedi? And she came out. Sook was like, yeah, there's a Jedi here. What's good? And he's like, see, I told you. He was like, uh-huh. She's like, what about our reward? He's like, oh yeah, you about to get this reward.
He said,
Ahsoka,
have your reward.
Have your reward. He's about to kill the dude. But shout out to Ahsoka. And this lets you know how powerful she is too. She beat an Inquisitor with no lightsaber.
Yes.
No lightsaber.
Like not even that, but swiftly.
And I seen comments where people like, oh, this is a Mary Sue type thing. I said, well, no, you can't really say that. So this is why I say you can't really say it's a Mary Sue type thing. Her master was Anakin Skywalker, who at the time was possibly right behind Yoda, the most powerful, Jedi there is.
Almost like Force user, period.
Right. And, she basically, so of course, to be a Padawan of such think about all the people who were powerful Jedi who had Padawans. Their Padawans was beasts too. Yoda, his Padawan was Count Dooku. Also, I think Mace Windu was also a Padawan of Yoda at some point in time too. Like all these guys are beasts. So you're gonna
think about like this. Like they just established how formidable she was.
Yes.
Her getting shot every morning by the daggone clone trooper. So like what? So like why would you think that it's not gonna be the case?
Right.
I don't know.
So she basically dispatches of the Inquisitor. She uses the locator to contact Bail Organa to get because their people are like the people that's left is like, yo, we don't have nowhere to go. What are we gonna do?
And they're gonna take her to Alderaan and they're gonna die anyway.
We know what happens in a couple of years. So just prolong.
Took her to Alderaan to die.
Alderaan to die. Oh God! When I saw that, I said, "Oh, that's nice." I said, "Oh man, Organa's going to save him." Then I was like, "Oh God!" I said, depending how long this has been, they're gonna die probably in the next 10 to 15 years. They're gonna die. I said, "Oh, that's
they're gonna be out of here living a life." You know what I'm saying? They probably mess around and got kids and stuff. Dead.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Dead.
I heard the cries of a million voices.
Right. So that's the Ahsoka arc.
Yeah.
Now I want to get to the.
Oh, hold on. Like what? I wish I would. They would have showed us. Probably do like another. If they do this again, show Ahsoka again. I want to see her bleed those two lightsabers white.
Yes.
I was waiting for that to happen. They didn't.
Because in the Marvel comics, Marvel comics they created with Star Wars, that is canon. The stuff that's in there is canon. To get those white lightsabers, the crystals were red, and she basically cured them and undid them, because to be a Sith you have to take a kyber crystal and you have to put all your hate, fury, anger into it to make it actually bleed, and so it becomes red.
So it'd have been dope if they just showed that, but it's whatever.
It's what's all right. So
let's get to Dooku.
You know what, man? When it comes to Dooku art, I get it.
Oh yeah,
I get it. It makes perfect sense why he left the Jedi. He was so disillusioned with the Jedi and why he left. So you start off on the art with him as a young Count Dooku. He's probably like in his late 20s, early 30s or so, and you see bringing back young Qui-Gon, young Qui-Gon Jinn, Padawan Qui-Gon Jinn. They're out and they go to this planet where they're, one of the senator's kids is kidnapped or whatever. So they're trying to figure out what's going on. Kind of find out that senator's a jerk. And is not taking care of his people, and like Dooku is just noticing this, and like the people are like, "Oh, you're just Jedi. Y'all ain't nothing but puppets for the Senate. Anyway, y'all won't believe." And you saw what he said. They said that Dooku's face was like, "Yeah, we always do whatever the hell they say."
It's like, man, I don't mean no. I'm a puppet,
right? So episode that episode kind of went back pretty fast, So basically, it was a secret mission by the Jedi, supposed to be, but apparently that senator came and he followed them, and he's like, "Yo,
boy, I'm about to kill everybody," and
he's trying to kill everybody, but Dooku and Qui-Gon, just do it. But then you see Dooku basically lose his ish, and he does what Jedi is supposed to do. He did the force choke on that man. And he was like, and then Qui-Gon was like,
hey, man.
Master Chill. Dooku said, hell off me.
Dooku
said, hell off me. And he force pushed him to the barn. I said, yo, Dooku was a menace right there. He is about to kill this guy. And the only thing that stopped him was Qui-Gon, like, let his son free. And the son was all about, like, I can't believe my father's doing this. I'm going to try to get this done. He kind of stops Dooku. Dooku kind of snaps out of it. And Dooku and his, Qui-Gon are kind of like, yo, we restored the peace here, but will it happen? We got to see, what happened. We got to report what it is, what happened here to the Jedi and that. So that episode kind of went by fast.
Mm-hmm.
Next was the second arc for Dooku. You get Dooku now, who's probably like in his 40s or so, along with Mace Windu, my man.
Mace Windu. When I mean Mace Windu is about these rules and regulations.
Yes. He's about these rules and regulations.
Said, hey, man, like, this is the book. We're going to be by the book, okay?
We're going to be by the book here. Listen, he's like, look, this is the book. This is what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to do it. So they go to this other planet because a fellow Jedi had died protecting a senator. And they were going to retrieve the body. That's all they were supposed to do. Like, be like, hey, what happened here? Okay, cool. Retrieve the body and take whatever intel they got from that back to the Jedi Council. Dooku is like looking at the notes and stuff like,
man, this ain't adding up, bro.
This ain't adding up. And like Mace Windu is like, hey, my boy, hey, yo, like, we just supposed to go get the body, ask them what happened, get the body, take the master back home, get the burial done, man. We not here for all that. And Dooku's like, yeah, okay, bet. We gonna do that. And so when they get there and they start questioning people, what happened? Like, they start questioning people, like, and Dooku's just looking like, yeah, stuff ain't adding up. And so they say, well, can you take us out to where it happened at? And they was like, all right, yeah, bet. So they go out to where it happened at. And Mace Windu's looking, and he sees that it's fishy too.
He's like,
but he's like, hey,
I know I'm about to books, but we got to go report back and tell them what's going on here.
Yeah, he was like, all right, bet, cool, yeah, this kind of jacked up. We'll just go back and report this to the Jedi. And then Dooku turns around, he whips out his lightsaber. No, he was like, y'all gonna tell me what happened here right now or what that. And he was like, because he asked him, he said, these blaster shots, y'all say came from rebels. He's like, yeah, they came from the rebels. Rebels that, they had a problem with what we're doing here. And he was like, yeah, if these blaster shots came from the Force and the rebels, how come your shots ain't got your ship ain't got no shots?
Your ship ain't hit.
He was like, yo, y'all gonna tell me right now. And then you see the senator snap. It won't be. He said, it's the guards. And the guards was like, you mother bloop. And they kill him. And they started. And then next thing you know, you see like Dooku and Mace Windu basically cut through these guys like hot, like a knife through butter. And to see their different styles of fighting, it was just, just some great stuff there. Come to find out that senator was corrupt. He won't really, another corrupt senator who won't doing his people right. And and the dude called him a puppet again. He called the Jedi puppets again of the city. Y'all don't do this. And like Dooku was just kind of like, yo, like, what are we doing in this? Why this guy? What are we doing here? Why is the Senate is just too corrupt? Why are we keep doing this? Then you see, a pretty cool scene of a burial of the Jedi. Saying the Jedi that died, the burial and everything. And then this is when I think Dooku was like, oh, really? This is what we're doing? Mace Windu was given. That's how he became on the Jedi Council. He took the spot of that Jedi master that passed away to be put on the council. And like Dooku looked at him like, really?
Did you know this was happening before we
left? Right, that's that. He said, did you know that you was up? And Mace was like, no, man, I ain't know this, man. What was it? it makes me think that maybe he did. He might not have known, but it's kind of one of those things. It does look super fishy and sketchy that it happened. Like, that it happened like that. And then Mace Windu leaves with the comment like, I mean, it probably could have been you if you would have just, done things the way that we were supposed to do it by the book. I know, granted, yes, we figured out what it was, but we weren't supposed to go there to do all of this. And Dooku's like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I think that was kind of like strike 3.
Yeah, he was
strike
pretty
2.
much. He was pretty much out after that. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, even though he wasn't in the order, they still, you know what I'm saying? He was on Coruscant. I respected Dooku. He can pretty much move freely amongst the Jedi. You know what I'm saying? So that was the other part. But next episode, boy.
So then you get to the final. Woo! You know what? Now that I think of it, this might be my favorite episode. That might be my favorite episode of the 6 episodes. So
good one.
This is and it's a good one, and it's basically exactly during the same time period that Phantom Menace happens.
Yeah.
So this is after Qui-Gon, been to Tatooine, did all the stuff over there, and he has young Anakin with him, and Anakin is off somewhere, I guess right now, with the council, the training, or with the council or whatever. This is, before. So this is after he fought Maul the first time out in the desert, and he comes back and he nets the Jedi like, yo, I just fought a Sith Lord, and they're like, it ain't been no Sith Lord since then. And then you actually got to see some character development with a character that a lot of people have been curious about, but doesn't know a whole lot. Oh, Yaddle, who is the female version of Yoda that was on the Jedi Council.
In Phantom Menace. Yeah.
Right, in Phantom Menace. And, she's saying like, hey, yeah, we kind of do this. And Qui-Gon Jinn is, by this time, he's a Jedi Master now. And he's like saying like, hey, man, like, yeah, they're not listening to me, saying Master Dooku and stuff. And he's like, well, you know how the Jedi is and stuff like that. He says, I believe they need to. He was like saying, hey, y'all guys need to look into this. They kept saying, we need to look into this. Let's send more people out with Qui-Gon, not just do this and make this happen. And it does it. So then next thing you know, you cut to after the Phantom Menace, right? You know what I'm saying? Afterwards, where Dooku is at the tree that the Force tree that's in Coruscant, and he's mourning the loss of Qui-Gon Jinn. Because Qui-Gon Jinn has basically just died, probably maybe a couple of days ago or whatever. And Yaddle is out there talking to him, and he's like, he told y'all he should still be here. He'd probably still be here if it wasn't for y'all and this. And she's like, I know, and but hey, we're about to get ready. The rest of the council, we're about to go to Naboo and go to this funeral. Are you coming? And he's like, no, I'm not coming. So by this time, he's disillusioned. In the comics, what happened is Qui-Gon found out about not Qui-Gon. Dooku found about Qui-Gon dying from Palpatine. Palpatine showed him like a holocron of, yes, like, and that's how he basically kind of like fell to the dark side at that moment, because he was already not a Jedi no more, but he was still hanging around with them and stuff. And he showed him a holocron like, yeah, this is what your Jedi care about. And he sees like Qui-Gon getting stabbed and killed by Maul. So he's like, all right, I'm out of here. And Yaddle senses what's going on. So Yaddle follows them, and they go to, and she sees him, and he goes to this meeting place where Count Dooku meets with Palpatine. Hold on.
Before you get to that, don't forget, he goes to the library, deletes the files for Kamino. And
he also and by this time, Psycho Diaz is already dead.
And all that's
already dead, and the clone. And the clone troopers are already in process. Right. He did do that. And that was right off the top.
Yeah.
That was right off the top of the episode.
Even Jakar Sanu was like, what are you doing here?
Right.
Dooku. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody looking at he was Dooku like, on the side eye the whole time.
Well, what you doing? He like, I'm chilling, you know what I'm saying? Hey, reminiscing.
Just good books. You know what I'm saying?
Good books, good readings, all right. Little Jedi history. So then we get to the part of the episode, where Dooku is talking with Sidious, aka Palpatine, and he's like, "Yo, Maul wasn't supposed to kill Qui-Gon. Like, what the heck, this and that, and Palpatine is just manipulating everything, just like, yeah, it happens, stuff like that. And Yaddle hears all of this and comes out, and she's trying to talk sense to Dooku, like, yo, he's manipulating you, and this and that. And and Dooku's like gone. He's far gone already. And he says, screw it. And he's like, you've heard too much. And they start the battle. And they are out there having their little lightsaber battle. And they're going at it. And the whole time they're battling, you see Palpatine's Sith eyes like he's loving every bit of this.
He just did it back like this.
Yeah, just in there. Excellent. So he's doing his thing. And Yaddle hides from him, but he senses where she's at. And the next thing you know, they fight, and Yaddle gets put in a compromised position, and he crushes her. Or so it seems like he crushed her. So we think. And she lifts the cage back, but she's like spent. And she falls down. And this is when you know that Dooku is completely gone. He's completely a Sith now. He straight up kills her in cold blood, just looks down at her. And she's like, oh, saying, you still have time. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And just cuts her and kills her.
Yeah, she died like Switch from the Matrix. Not like this.
Not like this. Not like this.
Not like this.
Not like
you. It was you.
Not like
this.
That's a horrible way to die.
My favorite death show. That sounds crazy to say, but yo, I love that scene. Yeah, man. Like Dooku, man. Like Dooku definitely had the most character development because we knew who he was. We saw him as the old dude with the fancy hilts and with lightsaber, but like we didn't really know a whole lot about him. So it was cool to see how somebody like Dooku, and this is basically the whole thing, how Dooku can become disillusioned with the Jedi and then straight turn evil, but we see how Ahsoka can be disillusioned with the Jedi and then still be on the path to good. As we can see, because she's still even throughout helps the Jedi on and on and on.
And here's the thing, we knew this, but you see it how everything fell, especially the Dooku scene. It makes sense what Luke says in the trilogy sequel. So he was like, the Jedi got blinded by their own hubris and dogma. And that's exactly what happened. They was like, hey, we're at the height, baby. We're here. We're the Jedi. Everyone comes to us and loves us. But they got completely blinded when Sidious and, aka Palpatine was right down to their nose the whole time. But great series. I thought it was awesome. I'm going to tell you what I would like to see. We saw Tales of the Jedi. I would like to see Tales of the Sith. I would like to see, and I'll say this, like showing like to see Sidious rise, like young Sid, like following like maybe like a young Sidious or something, or else even going back further.
Young Sheev,
Palpatine, or else also showing like Bane, how he created the ruler too.
That would be dope. If they could, I'm not sure if they would do it as a cartoon, but like just seeing Bane or even seeing Revan, since Revan was mentioned, like some of those old Legends people that like, someone like the old heads love, or people who read Legends love, like having some of them into the main main canon would be really dope.
But because Revan is canon now. Revan
I mean, but like a full-fledged story. No.
Right, but it's full where we actually see them in action on TV or whatever.
They need for, like, we need to see Darth Bane like that. I think that would really be dope. But man, that's really much it for
Jedi. Also, like I've said before, man, George Lucas, Dave Filoni is like right there. This is right there. And then you can add Favreau in there too. Like
he's in the mix.
For me, they're like the, in biblical tenses, they are the Star Wars Trinity as far as
and don't forget about Pablo Hidalgo too.
Oh Pablo,
leader of the story group. You know what I'm saying? So so all those dudes, doing their thing. Just hoping that we can kind of keep this momentum of this, of this good Star Wars, man. That's all I'm saying about that right now.
Well, Bad Batch be like what?
That's
what,
January or February, I think.
January.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. If y'all haven't been on to the animated stuff, the Clone Wars,
Animation,
Bad Batch, you're missing
man.
out.
Yeah.
Especially Clone Wars, you're missing out on some really great stuff, man, for real.
Yeah.
Fills a lot of holes.
There's some really good like sources online. They can tell you like what episodes to watch, what arcs to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's remember it's a kids cartoon, it's a lot of filler in there as well.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, that's it for now. We'll see you guys next time next week with Andor episode number
9.
Episode 9. Yeah. That's all we got, man. We'll see you.
Calrissian kids.